Hello friends, how are you? I'm going to show you something most of you probably already know, but this is for fairly new people who don't know how to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And one of the young ladies, Mia, had wondering about how to stitch. I'm not a professional. I kind of just winged it and learned it, and still not my best, but I'm gonna share with you what I do. You'll need a piercing tool of some sort, and I got this on Amazon years ago. So whatever piercing tool you need, you'll need some floss, embroidery floss, and it doesn't matter, whatever color you like, or you can use wax thread, whatever you want. I use a couple of clips. This is actually from my scrap pile that I didn't use for the Phantom book. And I got some 8 sheets of paper from a notepad that I got at Dollar Tree. These are great to make journal pages, you know. It's $1.25 for 100 pieces of paper, so you can't go wrong. So I'm gonna use some of this and a needle. Now, when you select your needle, you have to be careful with the thickness of it. A lot of times, the thicker the needle, what I like about the thicker needles, the eyes are bigger. And my old eyes need all the help I can get. But I found this one, it was a little smaller eye, a little bit more challenging for me, but I was able to get it through, especially with embroidery floss, how it's all separated, so it's not fun. Anywho, to make this, what I did is this paper measured, I think it was 4 by 6. 6, yes, by a little under, like about 3 7/8 or so. So you can make your paper however you want that you're going to use to make your signature. And all I did was I cut this paper. This notepad paper was 4 by 6, so I cut it to about 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, just enough, or actually maybe 5 7/8, just enough to keep it in my little booklet here. Now, what some people like to just hold it and punch the holes in. I tried that and not successful. And this paper's thin, so I want something to hold it in place. So you can use these giant, smaller clips if you have them. That'd be great. Again, you do however is easier for you and most comfortable to work with. So I'm just gonna hold those in place. I don't measure out where I want the holes. I kind of just eyeball it. If you want to measure it, go right ahead and measure it. But I'm going to start in the center somehow, and I'm going to kind of line up this paper on my grid here on this, and I'm kind of just go in the center and just poke a hole. Just be careful and just go through. Okay, so you have this one. Now you're going to do one on the top. Punch a hole right through, just twist it until it goes through. And there you go. And then the third one is about, try and get it the same width as this. Again, if you want to measure, feel free to measure. I just eyeball it, and I'm going to pierce it. And there you go. I'm going to leave this one in there for just a second, and then I'm going to take my floss, embroidery floss, and I'm going to come through the center from inside to the out. And you want to make sure you don't pull this out too much, because then you have to thread your needle again, and I don't want to thread it. And you can go on the bottom. I've seen some people go through the top. It really makes me know, never mind. It's totally up to you what you want to do. And I'm going to pull this out. And again, I might be doing this wrong, but this is what works for me. And then put it in through the third hole on the bottom or the top, wherever you decide to put it through. Run this through. And I'm going to put this here so that it's on one side of my floss. And then I'm going to bring this one out and back through the center. Okay, bring that through and bring it on this side of my floss so that I have one on each side of my thread that's running down the middle. And all you're going to do is tie a knot. And this is how you do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Now, on the previous tutorial that I showed you where I had the beads on the edge, maybe I should have did that so I could have showed you, but anyhow, what you would have done is, if you had your ribbon or your lace on top, you would, as you're bringing it through the center hole, that's where you would put it through the lace and through the ribbon here, through the floss, so that it attaches to your book, if that makes sense. You'd have to see the video, the previous video, to see what I'm talking about, but that's how I would thread a bead into the binding. Okay, and just double knot it. And this piece of floss was actually a scrap, so I don't, if the piece is long enough, I don't toss it, I save it, and then I'll just grab my scissors and I'll trim this here. I can use this piece for something else. I can take this off, and there you go. Very easy, simple to do, fast. This is a great way to use your scraps and use them as inserts into your journals. And for this, I'm not a fan of this, and this is why I don't like to do the pamphlet stitches too much, but I saw somebody, I don't remember where, but she kind of went in, and that's not working because it's not, you know, you can go ahead and just tuck it back in using something pointed but blunt, if that makes sense, so you don't cut through it. Or you can just use a Sharpie, color it in, or ink it, you know, just to avoid that. But this is the reason why I don't like how that looks. It's just me. But once you ink it, it should look better. You can, let me see, I have my marker here handy. I have this pen here, and just color this in. I mean, it looks better, but, you know, I know it's not perfect, or it's not, if as long as I know it, it's like, it drives me nuts. But you know what? That's part of who I am. So that looks better, and not really noticeable except for the person who's making it. So here you go. That's how you create a little tiny signature, and that's how you would create the larger ones. It's the same thing, just longer, whatever the length of your paper or your journal will be. So I hope this helps you. Thank you for your time. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. Gonna watch the Dodger Parade. See y'all later. Bye.